I was told at a very young age that I wear my heart on my sleeve. Now, mind you, when I'm 8, 9, 10, I couldn't really understand what that meant. But I've now come to realize that I'm a very sensitive person. I live life in a very high emotional state, almost as if these emotions, these experiences have a sense of permanence. I mean, when I'm happy, I am so happy. But when I'm sad, I'm sad. And it's crazy because those feelings, those emotions can feel like the only emotions that I've ever had in my entire life. In the moment, that's how it feels for me. And I've got to be honest, living life this way isn't always the best on my nervous system. So as I've gotten older and become more self-aware, I've continued to look for ways, I've searched for ways to return back to myself and return back to center. Learning that everything is temporary. Life is a series of ebbs and flows. It allows me to return home, back to safety, back to myself, back to love, back to gratitude. I think I live life in such a high emotional state because in a past life, I didn't give myself the space, or maybe I felt like I wasn't allowed to give myself the space to honor my feelings. And speaking from experience, when I don't allow myself to feel, one thing about it, the body keeps a score. These emotions, they get bottled up inside and they manifest into outbursts, into experiencing life in extremely high emotional states and experiencing life with a sense of permanence. Like this moment is the only moment that has ever existed and that will ever exist. I'm truly a drama queen. But when I live my life this way, I notice that I forget about the joys of yesterday. And I forget about the uncertainty, the beautiful freshness of tomorrow. As the human race, we find a way to collectively neglect ourselves. We use people, places, and things to run from ourselves, to escape the feeling that we need to feel, but we don't want to feel. There are so many times, like literally yesterday, I experienced something negative and I didn't necessarily want to feel it. I didn't want to give myself the time and space to process it because honestly, processing things isn't easy. That's why we run from it, because it's not a favorable feeling. It's not an easy thing to do. But I remember saying, I need something. I need something. I need a little drink, a little latte. I need to buy something, right? Exhibit A of using people, things to escape ourselves in order to not feel the feelings that we need to feel. And 9 times out of 10, the dopamine hit that you get from that thing, from that person, it won't solve any long-term problems. Anytime that I've run from an emotion, from something that I needed to process and experience, it always circled back. It may not look like it circled back. It may look like something different, but if I look deeper, it's the same thing. I keep feeling this same emotion that stemmed from a certain experience that I have yet to deal with. You can get your little drinky drink. You can do whatever you need to do, but understand that that feeling is going to circle back to you if you don't deal with it. And when I say you, I'm saying me, because honestly, that's what everything that I put out, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to myself. It's a reflection. It's a voice note. But it's for you if you feel like it resonates. But yeah, just understanding that it'll all circle back to you if you don't deal with it. Another reason why we don't stop to feel is because we're too busy living, quote unquote, living. We're too busy doing things that make us feel alive, making money, working, shopping, gossiping, whatever that thing is that you use to escape your feelings. Think of that thing. Whatever it is you do to lose yourself in the worst way possible, think of that thing. We've been sold a dream on what living actually looks like that we can't tell the difference between living and being alive. And because of that, we are not allowing ourselves to feel. But real shit, are we actually living if we're not allowing ourselves to feel? By not allowing ourselves to feel, we allow these emotions and this sense of permanence to guide us, to make very permanent decisions. I have learned not to make decisions off of temporary emotions. Like, I am an impulsive girl. Like, I will feel something and I would immediately make a decision based off of that feeling. And when you make a decision, ain't no turning back from it. And living life that way has not served me. It hasn't served me in the past. So I'm learning from that experience. Instead of allowing my high emotions, like especially when I'm in a high emotional state, like when something just happened, I don't allow those emotions to guide me. For me, that's the worst time to make a decision. I've learned to sit on things. I've learned to not respond, like verbally respond to things when I haven't processed it. Once I give myself time to process it, once I give myself time to feel it, I allow my intuition to be my guide. Something I noticed about myself too is that instead of feeling an emotion, I'll replay the event in my head over and over and over and over again, breathing new life. Like every thought that I have about that experience, I am breathing new life, new self-deprecating thoughts into that experience instead of dealing with it. You're only adding fuel to the fire that way. Again, we don't give ourselves time to process, and as a result, these emotions linger on within us, as I said before. And ultimately, we become stuck in this perpetual cycle where the same emotions, the same feelings are literally living, replaying, rent-free in our heads, all because we were too afraid to process it, to deal with it. When we don't take the time to feel an emotion or experience, we become one with that emotion. We identify with that experience, unable to know ourselves, unable to identify ourselves in the absence of that experience or that emotion. And this doesn't just go for negative experiences. This goes for positive experiences and thoughts as well. It can be hard for us to find the beauty in everyday life and the mundane and what we do have, because we don't take time to appreciate, to express gratitude for the current moment, for the positive in our life. Knowing that everything is temporary has allowed me to really appreciate every single thing that I have in my life, every single being, every single small thing that we in everyday life seem to overlook. I remember the other day, I think I was putting my clothes up in my closet, and I don't remember the last time I done this outside of this time. I was just like, damn, my life is actually really beautiful. Damn, there was a point where I was literally wishing for the current reality that I have. We don't take the time to realize that where I am now, I prayed for this. There was a time where I was in survival mode in every way possible, but now I'm here. We move from thing to thing to thing to thing without taking the time to acknowledge how far we've come, to acknowledge all the good, all the positive, all the beauty that is in our life. It has done me so much good to enjoy express gratitude for the now. Whenever my thoughts are like a whirlwind and my head feels like it won't stop spinning, I promise you, I never ever regret taking a deep breath and finding a moment to enjoy and express gratitude for the now, to honor my emotions, energy, and motion. A question I find myself asking, ultimately myself, my higher self, source, is how do I honor my emotions, my feelings, without allowing them to consume me? I just want to say, if you have ever had an emotion in your entire life, congratulations. You're a human. You can feel. I love that for you. But what I came up with is we have to stop suppressing them. We have to stop hiding from ourselves. When we hide from ourselves, we literally dig the hole so much deeper. I like to personally find a quiet place, a safe, quiet place. Whatever safety looks like for you, find that space and allow yourself to be present with that emotion. This may take longer for you, or it may take a shorter amount of time for you. This will vary from person to person, as it should. But when you sit with that emotion, you are giving yourself permission to identify what that emotion is. We don't have to go so deep to even find the experience that caused this emotion, because sometimes emotions and feelings have been suppressed for so long that we can't even identify what the initial experience was. It's really not even necessary. We want to just allow ourselves to actually feel that emotion. Identify what that emotion is. You sit with it however long you need to. And then I like to express and release, which this comes in so many forms, which is why I love releasing so much. For me, this is a release. My head has not stopped spinning, my wheels have not stopped turning until I had this conversation with you today. Release for me sometimes looks like tears. A lot of times looks like tears. It looks like journaling. It looks like going on a run. It looks like drawing. It looks like singing. It looks like dancing. It may look like deep belly breaths. It may look like meditation. It may look like screaming. It looks like so many things. And that's what I love about releasing so much. There is no wrong way to release. Don't put a lot of thought in it. Just release. Let it go. Feel it and let it go. Something that I'm also realizing, and I want you to realize, is that the very meaning of everything is temporary. Life is a series of ebbs and flows. For me, is that my pain and my joy can coexist. Just because I am happy today, or because I was sad yesterday, doesn't mean that I won't ever be happy or sad again. Knowing that I will be happy again, knowing that I will be sad again, makes me happy, sad, and every emotion in between. It allows me to really feel each emotion to the fullest. It allows me to appreciate every emotion, every feeling. Feeling is your birthright. When I don't allow myself to feel, I dig the hole deeper. The fact that I can feel means I'm alive. It means I'm here in physical form. Allowing myself to feel will contribute to my evolution. Allowing myself to actually feel will help me release. It will help me grow. It will help me become who I am meant to be. I am done hiding from myself. I am done running from myself. Every part of me deserves to be seen by me, and it doesn't matter if anybody else sees me, because I see these pieces of me. I see these parts of me. I honor these parts of me. I honor every emotion that I have felt and will ever feel. Honoring these temporary emotions will allow me to live a full, beautiful life. I am leaning into the ebbs and the flows of my life, allowing myself to return to center, to return home, to return back to myself, and fully experience everything while attaching to none of it.